tell me how you got started at GFOA looking at this stochastic modeling.
Our first forays into risk analysis were essentially deterministic models, but after doing a few of those, we got the sense this was an unsatisfying way to approach the problem. I came across the book, The Law of Averages, and then got involved in probability management to take a more probabilistic perspective on that question. And so what makes the work we did with Anne so very exciting is the level of information available in their distributions is like, like light years ahead of what we were doing. So for example, with hurricanes, right, with the end result, it would be not just whether there is a hurricane or not a hurricane, but each trial would have in it the wind speed, storm surge, insurance loss, public assistance estimates, meaning FEMA spending, as well as economic loss, which is pretty great because you can do a whole bunch of stuff with that you could not before. This is a simulation for Salt Lake City, Utah. And before I jump into what we're looking at on the dashboard, it is probably worth noting that this model takes into account a whole series of different risks. If your eye is drawn below to the lower right or lower center, really, where my mouse is, you'll see all these little red tabs, each one of those little red tabs.
I can't read them. What are that? What are they actually?
We got recessions, we have got pension risks, we've got strong winds, we have got tornadoes, we've got wildfires, we have floods, we have earthquakes. So it takes into account all those things, and there's 10,000 different trials. And the idea is that all of these results from all those different risks are aggregated and then conditioned with a whole nother set of variables. And I'm going to demonstrate probably one of the most.
Yeah, would you run through some trial numbers just so we can.
Sure. So like right now we're on trial 8, as you can see, and that's the little purple line there. And let me do trial 9, trial 10, and so on. And there are 10,000 of them.
What are some things the user can do, to engage them in this process?
Yes, I would say there's a number of them, but I'm just pick the most, I would say, salient is this idea of, well, what do we do if a bad thing happens? Most local governments are not just going to write it out and say, well, we're going to just use our reserves. They're going to think about cutting their spending, right?
It's like you've got the option to pull back, right? It's like we are now putting an option in place to cut expenses by 3% if a certain thing happens, correct?
Yep.
Good. Take that back now to 0, which says we refuse to cut back. Boom! Oh my God! All the chance of blowing the threshold like doubles, and then hit Control Y and Control Z, or Control Z and Control Y. This will get people's attention.